calmi.
that somebody opened their mouth and shared with me
Mm.
that there was somebody in the community having a business looking to grow and invited me to take a look at what we do. You know what I'm saying, Lynette Garris?
Amen.
Because that little invitation that didn't take much effort,
Changed your life.
Yes.
and that me showing up to that meeting and hearing that message
Message.
or that hearing about this business that people like if you saved $100 a month in a mutual fund at 12%, the 6% double and rule of 72 would be $1 million. I can honestly say, Jeff, that that was like one of the most exciting things somebody had ever told to me. And why was that, Jeff?
It was something you had never heard before, but in the back of your mind, it was something you were always looking for.
Yeah, yeah. It's like my neighborhood was very working class. I went to Southwest Miami High School, and Jennifer, our rival high school was
Yes.
Coral Gables. Have you ever heard of Coral Gables, anybody?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Coral Gables was like the nice side of town. We were not in the night in Coral Gables. You know, Coral Gables had gables by the sea. They had the big houses, the big properties, all this. And then I would see nice cars on the road, and I was like, how do you get that? How do you do that? And when I found out about cash value life insurance and term insurance and how people were getting ripped off, and I didn't know that was true, but I went to the library and found out that was true. Low rate of return, it was expensive. Insurance companies were getting rich. They invested the money, convincing people that it was risky to invest, etc. And that if you wanted to get rich yourself, you had to learn how to invest. That made sense. And then that concept of helping a family and making Donnie, they showed Baruch said, man, if you help one family, you can make $300. And when you're making $300 a week full time and somebody shows you a way to make $300 in an hour or two,
That's heaven. That's
huh?
everything.
I mean,
That's
to me, that
everything.
was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, now, seriously, is that true? Now, I'm a college dropout, right? But I said, man, if I could find a way to make $300 in an hour or two versus working all week, Shonda,
That's something you want to do.
I say sign me up.
Yeah.
Now, I know the people you guys are interviewing don't think that way, obviously, right? Okay. Right? They don't get that. Okay, but I got that. I said, that's true. And then overrides. Anybody ever wait tables?
Yes.
Anybody ever train anybody at work?
Mhm.
Jennifer, you train people at work? What do you get paid for training people at work?
Um, $2 extra an hour.
Oh, wow, they do pay you for training.
Yeah, but only while you're training. You don't get anything else off that person or anything like that.
So after they're trained, they're just making money for the hospital.
Correct.
Whoa. So here they had that system where you could train people, and if you trained them and they became productive, you could earn overrides or a percentage of that person's productivity for how long?
Whatever.
Forever. And they said if you did enough of that, what could happen? Denise?
You actually can become free where you don't
Right?
have to work anymore.
And Kyla, growing up in my household, guess who had to cut the grass?
You did.
And guess how much I enjoyed yard work?
Probably just as much as I enjoyed it.
I hated it.
Me too.
Okay. And yard work in Florida was a year-round thing, and in the summer it was double time because it rains in the sun and the rain and the sun and the rain and the sun. And if you don't cut it, if you don't cut it, forget once a week, because then you got to bag the grass and the grass. Okay, anyway, I don't want to get into all that.
Luckily, my neighbor does it for me.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, everybody, but I can't tell you how grateful I am
And
at my age, after a long time involved in this business, that somebody opened their mouth and gave me an opportunity.
Christian, sometimes the person that you are training at work is the person that is going to take your job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
So
It's
that happens a lot.
Christian,
Wow.
amazing you said that all of us here, somebody had opened their mouth. That's why we end up here.
Right.
That
And
didn't
what
happen
are-
to you. That happened to all of us.
And when then you get in the business and then you get afraid of,
What other people going to think about it?
you get afraid of opening your mouth.
Yeah.
Doing what was done to you.
Right, exactly. You love it. You saw greatness in it, goodness in it, righteousness in it. But to share it with somebody else, oh, I got to really work at that one.
Christian, I want to share something before Bruce hops on. I want to share something just really quick. There's a new IUL company that just moved in, right?
Okay.
And
In your
so he
office?
already in the office, right? So I already like this just happened yesterday. So he comes in. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. He's looking around. He goes, "Hey, what do you think about the office?" And I'm like, "Man, I love this space. Other than, we got some jokers here selling IUL, right? And other than that, I'm good." He goes, "Well, what's wrong with IUL?" I said, "Well, I hate it. It's a horrible product." I didn't know he sold IUL, right? And I go, he took a deep swallow. He goes, "Oh, well, what company is it?" PHP. He's with World Financial Group. And I'm like, he said, "Well, why do you think it's a good product?" I said, "Because it's not legit." And I didn't know he sold IUL. It's not a legit product. It really isn't. It's crap. He goes, "Oh, shoot. Oh, I sell IUL." So yesterday, Christian, he prospected the attorney around Tony's office. He prospected the lady. I know her name is Virginia. She walks in and I see her. I'm like, oh, hell no. He walks in, starts doing the spiel, because we call it presentation, but their stuff is a spiel. I walk over to her after he's done with her. I walk to her office. I said, "Virginia, what did you do?" She said, "What are you talking about? I saw you with this guy. And what did you do?" She, "Well, I didn't do anything. He was just presenting something." I said, "Virginia, can I give you a free advice? You're a business owner. You're a lawyer. Did you buy the IUL that he was proposing?" I'm like, "No, he wouldn't even tell me the name of his company. He wouldn't tell me exactly how it worked." And I said, "Virginia, you are self-employed. You don't need an IUL. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a SEP?" She goes, "As a matter of fact, I do." "Awesome. Do you have life insurance in place?" "Yes, I do." "What type of life insurance?" "I have term." "Okay, fantastic." Now I'm going to sit with her, right? But I said, stay away from him. You should trust him as far as you can spit. She goes, "I know. He didn't say anything. He just kept me there for an hour, Christian. He kept her there for an hour, didn't say who he was, what's the name of the company, how does it work, all that stuff." I mean, these guys are just ruthless. So anyway, I think I saved somebody yesterday.
Wow.
Awesome work, Ace. I love it.
That is the second office, the second company.
Yeah. I told him I wouldn't trust him as far as I can spit. I mean, that's how disgusting these guys are. Tony, Tony knows I'm mad, right, Tony?
Well,
hey, Tony,
yeah.
can I do
I don't get
a,
mad, Ace. I get even. You know, I'm not a scary cat. You gonna do
can I do
stupid
a role
things?
play before Bruce gets on?
Bruce
Yeah.
is on.
It's here already.
Oh, okay, then forget it. That was going to make you a lot of money.
You make a
There you go.
comment where what
Do it,
you're
Christian.
saying. I mean, this is the,
Just do it.
Okay.
Just do it.
Ace met the guy and said, "'Cause it's not a legit product and it's crap."
And I didn't know he did it.
Okay, right. Gordon. Oh, you sell IUL?
Well,
Oh,
he didn't
yeah.
tell me he sold.
Wow. Huh?
He didn't tell me he sold IUL.
It's
He was
okay.
asking.
It's okay. I'm just
he
saying.
was-
I'm just saying. My approach would be the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow. Are you aware of the weaknesses of IUL, Gordon?
It has none.
Well, if it had some, would you want to know about them?
Of course.
What kind of background do you have in investing?
What are you, one of those Primerica guys?
All right, Bruce is on. I don't want to go there, but I could really have some fun with this, because if you are aware, if you're in the investment world, Gordon, which you are, one of the biggest things people are concerned with when you're talking about rolling over or investing money, what's like the topic of the day?
I think the topic of the day always is volatility of the market. I don't want to lose money.
And in terms of, if I'm going to invest money, what do people who are in the investment, if they know anything at all about investing, what do they want to know about?
I don't know. You're asking me what the
Want to know
client
about the
wants to know?
returns?
Is my money safe?
No.
the
I'm
cost.
talking about people who understand investing. I'm not talking about the person who doesn't know what a stock is or market volatility.
What's
They
the
know
rate of return
The
going to
ROI.
no. What's
Yeah.
not rate of no?
I don't know what
The cost. The cost.
The fees.
No
Yeah.
fees. What am I paying?
The fees. Now, what is everybody, if you know anything about investing, where do you want your fees?
Well, you want them as
Low.
low as possible.
Low. Now, why do
Anything.
you want your fees low?
So the return could be high.
Because an extra 1 or 2%, if your fees are 1 or 2% over a long time, much less 5%, what kind of impact does that have on your nest egg?
A big one.
Big
Big
impact.
one.
A big one. So if you like high fees, lower return, less money, guess what IUL is?
That is good for you.
Perfect. Okay. I don't want to. I could go on participation rates. I could go on caps. I could go on expense. But I'm not going to get into all that. But it's so fun when you understand investments and the impact of fees, and then you understand the fees and how IUL is structured: the cost of insurance, mortality costs, lapse rates, participation rates, caps, etc. It's not invested in the mark. Okay. You can really have some fun talking to people about how it works and its impact on your future. And that's why the more you learn in the business, the easier the business gets. Bruce Caulk.
Second here, Christian. 1 second.
There you are. Top
There
of
you
the
go.
morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, team.
Good morning.
I met Bruce back in 1985. I was in a dead-end job, waiting tables, college dropout, went to a bar, met a girl who had been to 1 or 2 of his meetings. She had the courage enough to invite me to his office, tell me she knew this guy who was growing a business, and I went and met Bruce. And from the moment I stepped into that office on, what was that, Blue Ridge? The Miles building.
What's up? Blue Ridge. 2401.
2401. Right. it was like over, over from well, you talk about love at first sight. And the example you have provided for Roxanne and I, Bruce, all these years, your toughness, leadership, um, commitment, dedication, always, living the life, selling the dream, always proving that it can be done. You had you were doing something that was so attractive, something that I really wanted to do, and that has made all the difference in the world. So thank you, sir, for getting on this morning. Really appreciate you and everything you've done for our family. We wouldn't be where we are without you. You planted your stake. I grabbed onto your belt loop like you had recommended, and our dreams have come true. Dreams we couldn't have even dreamt have come true because of you. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time you're going to share and the ideas you're going to share with us. And I'd get my notepad out and I'd open my ears and heart, because this person is not somebody thinking about doing it, talking about doing it, but not only has he done it, and bigger than most people will ever do it in the entire earth, has created more wealth, created more successful people than anybody, that most people would ever even, they can't even think about doing what he's done. He's done it. So appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, Christian. I asked Christian for a short introduction.
I can keep
Take it away,
going.
Bruce. Thank you, man. I appreciate it as always, and always appreciate you and what you have done for your own life, which is the greatest. That's the greatest thing, right? I mean, it's great to hear things like that. I mean, it makes you feel good. Okay, great. But at the end of the day, you know that the person that did that, and I, Christian, Roxanne, is they made a choice to do it, because a lot of people hear the message, right? And a lot of people, they listen and then they hear it. Very few internalize it. And you can't make somebody internalize this message. But once you get it, once the penny drops, it's there. So, Christian, anything you want me to, anything you want to
it's
fire
like,
at me first?
it's not only that I did it, but I watched you do it. I watched you start off with a team, and then a person became an RVP. We were like your first art, and then
Yeah.
I watched another one and another one, and I watched you have 25 people, and then you have 50 people, and you had 75 people, then you had 100 people, and then I watched you leave Andy Young schools and started doing your own schools where you had hundreds of people. I watched you do it. So it wasn't like I was given a message. No, I was given an example. So
That's, yep. And by the way, so was I, and so is anybody else who's ever been in this business, right?
yeah.
And the fortunate thing for the people around your team is you are the example. I mean, and what's great is there are other examples on this call that have done great things for their family, save money, better, their life is different completely in a great way because they did this business, because they chose to step out of the safety zone. And but as we all know, stepping out of that safety zone for most people is a bridge too far. Okay, so when I was
Let me ask you
down
a
there with
couple
you
of
guys,
questions before you get into your thing.
sure, fire away.
Okay. In getting started, what was the hardest part? Did you have any difficulty? Was your family supportive? Was it easy? Did you have to overcome anything?
About everything. Okay, and I don't mean that like flippantly. I mean, I'd never been in sales like this kind of sales before. I'd never been exposed to anybody that ever talked to me about building a business. I mean, I understood about buying a business, but I didn't understand about building one. I don't think anything other than, and I guess this turned out to be one of the things is all I knew is if you didn't show up, you can't win. I just knew that. That was no matter what was going on, if I couldn't show up, it's like the gym. If you don't go to the gym and you don't have one at home, then you're not going to work out. It's like it's not. And then when you get there, pick up a weight as fast as you can. When I showed up with Hubert Humphrey used to say murderous intent. If you throw a punch, throw it with murderous intent. I showed up like I knew my life depended at that stage on me figuring this stage out, because I saw that I don't know if I could do it. I believed I could, And I saw the people that were doing it, and obviously there's always superstars. A vast majority of people that I saw were not superstars. They were great people. They were nice people. They were good people. They showed up every day. But I by showing up, it gave me hope on the high level, but it also gave me belief on the low level that if that person can do it, I can do it. And it's not knocking them. It's just I didn't see anything here that required rocket science. It was a lot to understand, but it wasn't rocket science. Okay, it was a mathematical equation. And the more I knew that equation on the client side and the business side, the more it becomes very digestible. But and by the way, for the first 6 months, the best I could do was show up. I'd show up, I'd learn, see people firing past me, growing, kicking my butt immediately, and all that. And of course, you feel, look, what's wrong with me? Well, then I realized it's kind of simple. They were doing something better than me, and I had a choice: copy it, fix what I'm doing so it looks more like that, or don't. And so, and most people, you know the rule. Most people resist change of any kind, even they have desires. They resist change. So for me, every step of the way was a learning curve, and I never looked at it was why is this happening to me? I honestly looked at it as how is this happening for me, and everything is how you frame it out of the lens out of it gets out of your brain and back into your brain. That's where your thinking is the ultimate equalizer in this business. And when I say thinking, I don't mean you have to be a brilliant scientist. You can't be dumb as dirt. But anywhere in the range of seeing this. And so I saw that, and I said, okay. And I realized early on that this is an inside job, inside your head. So it took me about 6 months to go to district leader. And I mentioned this before. They gave me I was in Maryland. They gave me the Virginia test copied without the cover to go study for the Maryland exam. Now, most people would have to, and I got a 69, okay, on that first one. I said he's passing.
They gave you the wrong book.
Wrong book. Wrong freaking book. And so, of course, I was pissed off. But I realized if the person who gave me the wrong book, if she was making 100,000, I'm going to kill this business. Okay. I may say, because one thing I figured I'm not going to do, I'm not going to give people the wrong book. I saw all the little knocks along the way as reasons to do the business, not as reasons not to do the business. And I think part of that too is that what you come to the table with early on. And for me, and I think most people, I think pain creates drive. I'm sorry, the carrot is wonderful, but the stick does a very good job of getting you off the dime. I saw all the success. I couldn't see that, but I could see making a few $1,000s, $2,000, $3,000. I could see 3 or 4 sales, 5. I could see that. I sucked at it, but I clearly saw it, and I saw people doing it. So, and by the way, my upline quit just like Christian's upline quit. So the 2 highest money makers in our hierarchy, the people that hired us, quit. What does that tell you? It doesn't tell you anything other than people quit. Should they have quit? No. Could they have quit? No. Why'd they quit? Because they were convinced that me and Christian were not going to do it. Because if they would have been convinced we were going to do it, they would stay. So I took it personally, not that they quit on me, but I took it personally that they quit because I saw this, honestly, I saw this very early. They quit because they were sure I wasn't going to do it. And so, and then, my upline gave me to somebody else and they quit, and somebody else and they quit. So 3 people quit. And it's like, I realized they think that this dude right here is not going to get better. And on the outside, I didn't look like, but I knew I was making improvements on the inside, which were translating into actual action, talking to people, all these things. I'm shy by nature. I know Christian. I'm a shy person by nature. I'm very extroverted once we start talking, but I'm not the, hey, how you doing? I'm the guy, shake your hand. It's not my demeanor. And so people say, well, man, everybody in Primerica is so extroverted. Well, actually, most people in Primerica are introverted. They're. I think somebody said before, they're interested introverts versus interesting extroverts. There's a big difference. I was interested in people. I like the idea of what makes people tick. I like to figure out what makes me tick. So you don't have to be the extrovert talker. Now this is our nature. We know a lot of years, and you get really good at it. But left unto myself, I'm more of a lone wolf. I mean, but I love a team, and I love all that. So, and everybody's different, right? So if you say I'm shy, I don't know this, great, no market, great. That make no difference because there was really three things that I knew to be true that really quickly, and I had to solve this for myself. One, for our clients, once I understood it, as Chris just said, I knew we did the right thing. I knew it. Right? I never went to a house, even though where they had insurance or didn't have insurance, that we weren't better, that we didn't have a better plan. Very few people had term invest indifference. If they did, hats off to them. Happy for them, right? So rare. Biggest fear was that we were going to get all the people to get buy term invested difference and we'll run out of people. What a crazy idea. That was 40 years later. The market's bigger than when we start. I mean, come on. It's incredible. So the client side, figure it out, Bruce.
We were afraid that everybody was going to find out term was the way to go. And Ace in his office has two companies moving in, still selling cash value.
Exactly. And yeah, exactly. It's crazy, man. And the other side of that equation is, from the client side, and listen, I'm going to say some things maybe that are going to step on some toes. I'm not knocking you. You got to run your play. Okay. However, I am an odds person. I mean, I've always been a plan A, B, and C person. I'm just wired that way, right? I mean, I'd go for plan A, but I always had B and C because a lot of times A didn't work. Sometimes B didn't work. I want to make sure if we get to C, we're going to make something happen, right? Because everybody just assumes plan A is always in. I never assumed that because my life had taught me that there was no plan A and B. So my upbringing taught me that, Bruce, if you don't have a plan C and probably D, the shit you're thinking about ain't going to happen in your life. And so that was not something Primerica gave me. I came from scarcity. So I had to always make sure that, there was no cavalry coming for me. I don't mean that bad or good or what's wrong. There just wasn't. I mean, there was no pulling the red button to see who's going to come save me in an emergency. I was it. But once you accept that, it's easy, right? It's when you think the government, this, that, it doesn't matter what you're thinking. No one's going to save you. But you, they can help you, they can do it, but it's you. So, if I drew a circle and then I had two circles underneath it, basically I had to know that the client thing was right. It didn't take me forever. It took me a few classes, looking at some policies, going on a couple appointments, and then you realize everybody's broke, no matter what car they're driving. You realize, wow, people are messed up no matter what they look like.
Wow.
And so the client thing for me was a massive anchor. Okay. Because what it did is no matter what I felt like, we did what's right. And I, like many people, and a lot of you guys on this call, I wanted to, we say crusade, that's whatever the word is now, but I wanted to be turned on to what I did. Not insurance. Never thought about insurance. We used to sell insurance. No. We right or wrong. That's right. There's the people are getting screwed. If they're going to have it, we do a better job. So that was really important. Now, part of that reason was important, and this is a fundamental rule. Okay, and I say rule. It's probably a law. I have, and maybe you have met. I have met nobody in my career that I can remember, and I would have paid attention, and it might have been on the thousands of people that I've met, thousands of people I've been around. 1,000+ successful people, hundreds of people making $1 million. I have never met a person yet in that case. So that's what I'm going to tell you is important because most people blow this immediately. And listen, there's mistakes. And your job is to go out and make mistakes. But your job also is to get better after the mistakes. Not perfect, but it's like you're lifting a weight and your job is to put 2.5 pounds on the bar the next time. Not 50, 2.5 more. Get a little stronger. Because I realized, Jim taught me, probably any sport you ever played, you can start off sorry. Whoever practices the most and the longest tends to get better. Assuming some they have natural talent, they get really better. But everybody gets better. So a lot of people want to get better here without the practice part of it. And I don't mean practice like Kane. It's not like you got to go to work. It's just paying attention. So anyway, that client thing was huge. I was a client early on. I was broke. I mean, you know, if you want, I wasn't a dirt floor poor, but damn, I looked at Christian and the other guys in the business like, wow, they grew up in a palace. Honestly, I mean, family loves them. Blah blah blah. I looked at that, I was like, holy crap, that is unbelievable. They were rich to me. And so, and that's not, and obviously there's Coral Game. I was just looking from ground zero, maybe a little under. That was like awesome. So the client thing was, so I became a client early. Why? Because they said, Bruce, it's really simple. The guy that was training me, this the second guy that was training me, the first one quit 3 weeks. He said, you know, if you're going to go out there, you know, you need to own the product. And I said, yeah, but I'm young. I was 23, blah, blah. And I said, so insurance, and there was no mutual fund. Now this thing had an annuity attached to it, so there was a annuity which was better than nothing, right? And he said, well, he said if something happened to you, it knowing where I came from, your background, he said, would you want your mom or father to be taken care of? I said, 100%. And he said, okay, and you can't, you know, I think he said something like you can't drive a Ford and sell Mercedes or something of that nature. No one's going to believe you because you don't believe in what we do enough that you're a client. I'm 23, living in an 80 square foot $80 a month apartment, cellar door, bullshit. Car didn't work. Couldn't put $5 for me. Filling my car up was the dream. If I put $5 or $10, I didn't realize my gas tank could go over a half because that's how I filled it up. Okay, so I got nothing. And they said, hey, you need to pay $50 a month. This is a lot of years ago, $50 a month, you know, and they didn't break it up $3 a day. It's $50 a month. First year you have insurance. And he said, but when you do this, hey, your parents will always be taken care of. He said, how does that make you feel? It makes me feel great. I mean, I don't want to go, but I mean, if I can help my family out, great. And then after that, you get to save money. So I had a plan. And you know what? I felt damn good about that. I didn't think, well, why are they making me do that? It was like, it made total common sense. Obviously, Bruce, if you don't own it, you can't talk about it with conviction. You're not an advocate, you're a visitor. Okay, you're not. I don't care what anybody says. I don't have the money. I have no sympathy for that. I got empathy. When you're broke, you're broke. But man, $50 in 1984 a month was a lot. It's a lot more than $100 is today. $3 a day. So my point is, people fail immediately because if they're not a client, they are by definition a no timer. I got to help you. And you got, yeah, but okay, you're going to kill yourself in the sense of wearing yourself out. Because part of the big thing here for you guys, as you build your business and go through this process, skill sets, most of you, I don't know everybody else call, have skill sets. Okay. Yeah, you're not going to answer it quite the way Christian did. Not okay. It doesn't matter. You have already proven you have enough skill sets to make money. Would you agree with that? I mean, that's what you've proven. Now, if you're brand new, you don't have figured it out. Okay, but once you figure it out, because you know the clients, you know this, you believe what we do. If you're not an advocate, you're not going to make it. That's a strong statement, isn't it? And I don't mean I don't want you to make it. I'd love for you to make it. But the numbers have told me over 40 plus years and thousands and tens of thousands of people that people that aren't advocates don't make it. Not because I need them to buy, it's because I need them to believe. Massive difference in those two things. I don't need them to buy crap, neither do you. But I can't invest my precious time with people that can't even figure out how to get the 20 to 30 year plan, which is save your money, like we teach our clients, 20 to 30 year plan, you like your job, whatever, and never do anything with us, and have a chance to be financially independent, okay, over 20, 30 years. I chose, when I saw Primerica, the business model. I love the client model, or I would have not got to the business model. I like the idea of the business model immediately overrides. I never heard of them like a lot of you guys. I didn't know that. That doesn't make a difference if you don't believe what they're doing. So once I solidified that, for me, the business side was now what I focused my ultimate focus. You push to avoid pain. If you're in pain, you pull away, right? I mean, I'm saying you push, you know what I mean? It's a very active thing. Physical pain, you wince. Mental pain, we're pushing to get through that. And I think that can, I used to say many years ago, and it's still true. This business is, you got to be a sprinter and a marathoner at the same time, right? And sprinter to get off the blocks every day, every morning you wake up, you're sprinting. Trust me. Week to week, you are sprinting. Month to month, you have shots of sprinting all the time. Sprinting, when you think about it, is very fast, very hard, pushing in, breathing hard, get up, do it again. That's how sprinters practice, right? But the other side of the business, it's a marathon. And that means is you got to pace yourself and you got to do the sprinting at the same time. The big picture is the marathon. The sprinting part of this is understand this client thing fast. And you can still do both. But the second part of this is the business. And the business is, it is a marathon. And so you got some other skill sets that you have to do. And so most people don't do any of those things I'm talking about because they come to the table with limiting beliefs, honestly. They're limiting beliefs. How do I know it's limiting? Look at their income. Look at their savings. Look at their lifestyle. Look at what they think and talk about. Look at who they hang around with. Not bad people, could be great people, but they're broke people. To say, okay, I realized I was surrounded by limiting beliefs and I was projecting that because that had come on. I always wanted more, but there's blocks in my head about I should, and I couldn't. And I had to really work on that. And books, tapes, videos, hang around people, and you don't overwrite, you don't erase those thoughts. You have to overwrite them with better thoughts because your brain is a computer and that stuff doesn't go away. I mean, there's stuff in your head already, but you have to put more in. It's like water getting cleared out. You got to put more water in to run through it to get the bad water out to clear. So you have clear thinking.
How did you override bad thoughts?
Complete immersion. Complete immersion. I realized that and by the way, I go back to the one thing I could do was show up. So that was called immersion. I was hearing things ultimately like you and everybody else that was different than I was hearing any place else. And so for me, it was that second thing they said that I picked up really fast. It's a self-improvement business compensation package attached. Great. Okay. So I went ham on self-improvement, not just for myself, but if I didn't raise my level of play, it was pretty simple. How could I attract people to raise their level of play? I can honestly say I always saw this is not happening to me, it's happening for me, so I can help others get to the next level. Because I saw the business model. The business model was overrides. And the business model was attracting and then developing and then, helping people that are self-motivated, which is the key to grow a business. So it was really simple. I mean, this is not complicated in the beginning. How all that pieces worked it wasn't really complicated. I had to understand it. But it's not, once again, rocket science. And the thing that most people don't understand is human nature. Because you're trying to get someone to do something they don't want to do. You're going to lose. It's like the tide. You're going to lose. You're trying to get people, work with people. And I'm a believer in people, but I'm not a believer in investing my time with people that don't believe. I did it. I had to learn that was not going to work out. Now, I'm patient with people. I don't bust on people. People that join our business are part-time or spirit, right? They're no time. By the way, you guys have heard the Pareto principle. You understand 20% of people, 80% of the work, different. Okay, no time people are 20% of our company. No time. What I mean, they did an IBA, they have their toe slightly in it. They're like a tease. And in the upper 20%, the cream is full-timers. Okay, that's what it is. Every successful person who built a company here and built a base shop here had some full-time development program in their head of how they make people make that fearful transition to bring fear down and increase belief in a process. But no time people can't do that. And I'll submit to you, a lot of your thoughts are literally with no time people. Now, I'm not talking about a new gal does IBA and just get started. I mean, but literally, when you realize they are not going to do it, it's easier to continue to talk to those people and sell them and coach them and blah, 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 blah. And like Wydell, he's our upline, say, you're coaching a rock. It's just, you're really coaching a rock. They say, yeah, Art Williams said you have to believe in people. No, Art Williams said you have to believe in people. And part of that Art didn't say was that want to believe in themselves. Okay. Time out. I'm not a psychologist. We don't get paid to sit people on the couch and tell me your problems. Time out. I'm not a marriage counselor. I don't sit down to, oh, my wife doesn't love me. You married her. I can't help you with that. I'm not a professional. Whatever time out, this or time. No, time out. I'm broke. Time out. I'm not a banker. I can't loan you money. It's illegal. And it'll only hurt you. No. What I am is a coach and a winner. I am driving towards this. And like Christian said, and I said hundreds of times, grab hold of my belt loop, hang on, walk, stumble, move, but we're going to get there. And if you want to get there, hang on. Now, what does hang on mean? Well, think about the time you invest with people. Because listen, as you get older, but it's still the truth. I mean, we still got more time, we think when we're younger, but we all invest time. Actually, we spend time, not invest time. And I mean spend time when we know that it's not going to return. We say, well, I hope, we believe in people, all these things, but at the end of the day, that doesn't mean anything because now you're spending time, which if you spend time, there's no return on investment, right? When you invest, you expect a return on investment, right? So it's not being cold or it's not being, what's the word? It's not being callous, none of those things. And by the way, the only way you'd ever come off of that is because you need those people to win, because you need those people to do it. So therefore, you do all these wrong things because you think you're going to cajole someone and help them and guide them to be full-time. You're not. You can help them, but what's going to cause that to happen is them. So let me go back real quick. So no time. No time, people. I want to have, because I think people, if you're working, you are just spending time, if you're talking to anybody, with the wrong people. And I don't mean bad people. I just mean the wrong people for the business. Number one is if they're no time, they're not clients. Red flag, big red flag, biggest, pull it up the thing. They're not going to make it. The only thing that could possibly happen from that is they're going to find a Bruce or a Christian like the people that hired us, who I don't believe were clients. Naomi wasn't a client. Okay. Letitia, right? Diego wasn't a client. Okay. So what could they do? They could bump into someone else. Great. I would say probably 50% of Primerica millionaires were hired by somebody, maybe more, probably more, that quit. And by the way, they might have done something. They just weren't no time, but mine Christians weren't no time. Basically, we were it. But who cares? Awesome. Greatest thing for me. Why? Because somebody said bring somebody to a meeting. Okay. That's the best they could do. And they brought one, and we were it. And hallelujah. So no timers. So number two, they don't show up. I don't give a crap what anybody says to me. Honestly, you can put a gun to my head. Say, Bruce, do you believe this? Oh, yeah. You don't show up, you ain't going to make it. You're wasting time. You're wasting your time and my time. Because showing up is the lowest hanging fruit. The lowest. And if that is your bar to entrance in being a better, making more money, why would people not show up, Bruce? Because they're not in enough pain. Let me help you. Not psychology. They're not enough pain. And since I'm not their boss, I'm not going to create pain. I don't have any leverage on anybody. We have no leverage. Really. Bosses and managers do. So they're not a client. They don't show up. And when I say they don't show up, I mean you can't find them, or they show up once, you can't in 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying when I say this? And you picking up the phone and calling them, I mean, you got nothing to do on a day and say, hey, leave a message. Hey, dude, things are going great. Love to see you again. I have no problem with that. But this thought in your mind that person is going to create greatness and bounce off you, and all that is doing is you are expending energy, and you actually are killing. People are killing themselves because you're proven that the business doesn't work with the low 20%ers. We already know that. We don't need you to prove that. Gravity works. I don't need you to explain it to me. Go to the top of the roof, step off. We know it's gravity, right? If you doubt it, just step off the top of the roof. We'll figure this out. So all I know is if it's no time and no clients, they don't show up. And God forbid, you know they're working on zero self-improvement. Zero. You give them something to look at, they don't. Show them POL, they never look at it again. Guys, it doesn't take weeks and months to figure this out. Now, when they don't,
Wow.
all you have to do is say, hey, you told me you're in a lot of pain. This is how you get out of it. These habits aren't going to work. If you say you want to go to the gym and I want to start working out and I'm your trainer and you never show the gym, what's the chance of you getting in shape? 0. Let me help you. 0. And so, especially if you didn't have to pay for the trainer, right? It's like, it's not the trainer, it's your motivation. How much pain are you in? People ultimately, they know enough, they don't care enough, they don't hurt enough. And I can't make them hurt. And if they say they hurt, they really don't. Because when they hurt, they change. I'd like them to change because they know enough, and that's good. I like change because they care enough, awesome. But 85% is pain. It requires pain.
Bruce, can I ask you something?
Yes.
You're spitting gold. You say one thing you are is honest. You said,
I'm compassionately honest.
which I know you are. You have no problem telling people the honest truth, even if it's brutal, or even if it's, what do you call it? Even if it's hard.
It's the truth. Yeah.
Right. It's a
by the way,
truth.
Christian, and by the way,
Even if it hurts their feelings or doesn't make them feel good.
I wasn't comfortable. Okay, I wasn't comfortable doing that before. But then I realized if I don't tell them the truth, I'm hurting them, not helping them. And 100%, when I used to have to make tough conversations, and even today, I mean, I would say, look, do you believe that I want the best for you? They say, yeah. And I said, do you understand that no matter what I say to you, it's not going to change our ability to go win here? We're going to build a great business. But I don't want you to waste your time. It's valuable. And I just want your permission. If I saw something in you that I thought was holding you back, that I could tell you, and that it does require change, but it is, and I don't want you to feel bad about being around me. I want to see you 2 years from now. I want to see you on the street, and I want to say, hey, man, how you doing? But I want to be honest and tell you that. Do you give me permission to tell you, without sugarcoating it, exactly what's holding you back? And then it's your decision to decide if that's worth it to get out of the pain. Do I have your permission to do that?
Yes.
They say, yeah. And that's what I did.
That's good.
And I always ask, always.
Because you
Because
read my mind.
from the defenses come up. I was trying to drop defenses and and I'd say, let me tell you how bad you are. I said, okay, tell me about whatever they were. If they said showing up, I said, tell me about showing up. By the way, since I already had this conversation with every single person that ever walked in that door when they did their IBA, this is not a new concept. If you don't say this in the beginning, then you're going to get you know what? Then they're going to think, well, why are you saying this now? You didn't tell me this earlier. And now all of a sudden we got a problem.
Good. It's good.
And so, but these are you guys been around me, it's non-negotiable, but yes, non-negotiable. Everything's negotiable. Well, if everything's negotiable, you don't have a business worth crap. I don't mean that negatively. I mean, you become more of a personal producer. See, when you're a personal producer, and that's fine. I am happy for you, but I'm talking about building. Okay. And by the way, make a ton of money. No one's happier than me when I see folks only making 100, 200, 300. I don't give a crap how you do it. I'm happy for you. It takes a stud to make money here and figure it out. And so you're better at controlling you than helping other people figure that part of it out. I understand that, right? I get it. So
your psychology, just to the agenda is in that first meeting with somebody and growing your business and helping them is you're finding out their pain, what they want.
Yeah.
And then your expectations are they become a client, not because you need them to buy, but you need them to believe in what they're doing, because if they don't believe, they're not going to make it. Lowest hanging fruit, lowest expectation is they got to show up. And you're framing it in a conversation of like, what do they want? What do they need to do? You know what they need to do to get at least become a client, at least show up. And then when they don't do that, you have this relationship and you've gotten permission to coach them and to point out the things that they're not doing, which is going to prevent them from ever winning in a way that's honest, but relational, meaning you're not going to.
And I'm not coming from I need them. I really don't. I mean, the minute I need somebody, I'm dead. I can't coach anybody. And the reason I need them because they're the only one I got. And I need somebody showing up. I need somebody to come to the meeting and all that. Now, do we encourage them to come to the meeting? Oh, yes. But I'm saying, I'm trying to frame the person that is doing this in their head. I want everybody I need nobody because we're going to find the right people. Okay. I want everybody, but needing them in a sense that they have to do it for me to win. No, I was going to win it because I realize, like all you have, that you go to a meeting and there's a lot of people who do this business.
I have one story to tell you.
Yes.
Early in my career, we had a fast start school. We did a Friday afternoon leadership school, and we all went out that Friday night. I think it was to the New York Apple or the Big Apple in Rockville Pike. Your key people, me included, we show up to the fast start school Saturday morning. I'm not saying we were hungover, but we might have been. But we're all late. His whole team, every one of us who went out that night are late to the fast start school. Lunchtime, Bruce calls an emergency meeting, and that was I think the last time I ever really got an ass chewing in my life. You took us on the side of the hotel and you busted our butt. Do you remember? I know you remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were not afraid of losing us, but you had an expectation, and it was not only to show up, it was show up early. And we drug butt in there. We weren't that late, but we were late. And I never forget how your leadership and your toughness and your expectation of us made a permanent impact in my life. You were not afraid of getting on our butt, calling us out when we didn't do what we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. Yeah. Well,
that was huge.
That's and because you know what, when you don't, but once again, I had a relationship. We'd shown up to every meeting. We always showed up on time. Okay,
Right.
This was an outlier, but you have to catch it. It's like your kids or your kid. When they do something that's off the rail, you got to nip it right there, or else we have a pattern. And also we had a vision. We're going to produce great vice presidents who make a six-figure income. And six-figure income earners do not do this. So if we do this, you're not going to be a six-figure earner. It's real simple. And if I say that's okay, then I have low expectations for you about your ability.
Right.
And that ain't there's going to be no escape for me.
Right.
And guess what? I was early. And I was with you guys. And that's the part of it you got. I was there. There's no question. And so when people do, it's interesting, when people do their own meeting, they're usually not late. It's when they come to someone else's. What's that rule? The sooner you can get somebody owning their own business, the sooner you're going to find out if they're going to be able to build a business. Because I like giving people responsibility in little things all the time. In class and training, I say, John, you do it, but Christian, Rob, not because I don't want to do it, it's because I want to see how they prepared to do it. I want to see it's their own stage. Hey, coach, give me the ball. Okay, we're going to pass it to you. Go. And that's what you find out. You know what? Until you can stress test things, you don't find out how much you can take. And you can't stress test a new person because, man, I'm not saying beat them or look them intensely. You've got to be. That is completely wrong. This is how we do it here. No, you got to be so laid back in this conversation. You have to be really. Your body language cannot be like you, because then when you do that, you're putting on intensity. Well, I'm an intense person. Yeah, but you're scaring these people off. Now it looks like you need them. And I always made a conscious effort to lower my body, do this, lay back in my chair and say, hey man, this is how we're very calm. This is how it works, because I just needed to see if the message could get in without any tonality, without any body language, stopping that from getting in. Because most people are defensive. Now, we got a relationship with them, and you really have one, and they know you know them. You can get to that fast. Okay, guys, let's go. Remember the talk I had? And by the way, this is what you say when people not that they're going to screw up. We all screw up. It's when something goes wrong. It's easy to say, "Hey, Christian, hey, you remember when we were getting together a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned you that you gave me permission to tell you." If something's not going on, because I know you want to win, I know you love your family, I know these things. You remember that? Yeah. I said, okay. I said, do I still have that permission? Oh yeah, absolutely. Great. Let's get it on. I put a smile on my face.
For our $200,000 earners, if you have a question, if you're 200,000 or above, if you have a question, get it ready, and I'll give you a chance to ask Bruce. I'm sorry to interrupt, Bruce.
No, no, man. No. So it's really important because people believe by intensity and on them. It's like you got to be almost like, hey, we're going to win anyway, man.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna do great things here. I'd love you to be a part of it. If you want to be a part of it, there's certain non-negotiables. And when I say non-negotiables, I have never seen anybody win that didn't do these things. That's what I mean. Not this is how we do it here. I have never seen anybody win that has didn't do these basics. And so none of them required money other than the IBA. The rest of it just required effort. I mean, come on. I mean, and wait a second, what's great? And I think when I have that conversation with people, and you because you're going to have a chance to have that conversation unless they quit, and then it doesn't matter. It saved you some time. And I said, "You're here, right?" I'd say, "You're here. Yeah, you want to be here, right? That's where you want to be." And the difference in here and here, we're talking about you're having 2,000 extra a month part time, right? What would that do for your life? Or doubling your income, or having the same income and not being in traffic every day. Remember, that's the difference. So the difference is here and here. If I could help you move here towards that, do I have permission to tell you that? Do you say it's okay? Because that's all I care about for you is you move here. And by the way, I said, you know, our compensation program says the more money you make, the more money I make. So guess what I want you to do? Make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So this is it. And because I want to close that gap. And I do that because it becomes that. Pavlovian. It's 3 weeks down the road, they're going to say, and I said, okay, man, I guess I got your permission. He goes, oh, yeah, okay. I said, remember here, yeah, I got it. I said, okay, we're going to close the gap. Okay. All right. Now it becomes a joke, which is fun. Now they know, okay, Bruce is going to help me make more money. Damn it. You know? And if somebody takes it the wrong way, forget it. So let me real quick, no client, no schedule, no show up, no self-improvement. By the way, when do you know self-improvement?
What do you think about schedule?
I got schedule coming. The schedule, I'm sorry, no client, no show up, self-improvement, and the last one was schedule.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, by the way, schedule could be, remember, you're just trying to figure out, can they go to part-time, spare time from no time? No time has any one of these, or they're not going to make it. Now, can they find some people? Go find somebody. I'd really get on trying to say, go talk to some people, bring them here, right? Because the only benefit you're going to get is that they bump into somebody like me and you guys. All you guys, the people that hired you on this call might have quit. Okay, that's the magic. That's awesome. I don't want to chase these, but you'll never do it. It's like, okay, man. But in my mind, they're gone. The only thing good could happen is, can they bring somebody to the meeting? So guess what? I'm going to really focus on them. Hey, man, you need to bring a couple of the meetings so we can get things started. I can't. Hey, pick up a name and number. It's all I can get. That's the only win there. Then they go to spare time. Spare time adds a schedule. So the spare time people, their clients, they show up. You know, they're just not sure about it. It's the schedule. The difference in a part-time person and a spare time person is their schedule. Those are called numbers. Numbers. It's not opinions. See, I don't care about opinions. I do a little bit, but not really. I care about numbers. And I've always focused on the numbers, because the numbers are the truth. You know, in a spreadsheet, the box for numbers is very small. It doesn't have enough room to write in your excuse. It has it for the number. So a lot of you have spreadsheets, but you give excuse. I don't mean this negatively, okay? I did it. You can say, I'm going to work out all these days, and I don't. You say, well, I don't want to put 0, but if you could write in the excuse, you would. It's a number. The number tells me the excuse. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. It's your life. Was that excuse big enough for you not to be healthy, not to be wealthy? I'm not. If it is, it is. But understand what it is. See, understand, because the natural tendency of people when they walk in this door is not to be accountable. Most people are not self-disciplined. Would you agree? And that's okay, because maybe they have reason to be so. If they had something in their life that allowed them to be self-disciplined, like they used to do this or do that, then they have a little bit of memory about what that is. And the question would be, why'd you put your numbers down? Why'd you do that? Well, I want to get better. Excellent. We're going to get along fine, because it's exactly what we're going to do here.
In your opinion, what are the most important numbers?
Well, when it comes to scheduling, right? We're going to go back to scheduling, right? I mean, so scheduling is, hey guys, it's number one in there somewhere is show up. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Because without showing up, we're dead. If somebody doesn't show up 2 weeks in a row, they're pretty much out of the business. Would you agree? In the beginning, especially. So the showing up on the schedule is this meeting and this meeting. And the reason you want to have great meetings, when I say great meetings, they want to be positive, up, sharp, is because when people show up to the meeting, for many of them, that could be their last lifeline. You don't know. They might have 5 more. That might be it. So you got to give everyone like this is their last. You know, I don't know if it's your last, but I'm going to give it like it is your last meeting, and we're going to have a hell of a good meeting. And that's why I was all, we're not going to, even if we do some technical thing, we're going to leave like, dude, you're going to kick ass. Now, how are you going to make 100,000? I always wanted them to realize, because that's why they got to know the numbers. So a part-time person, spare time, I think too, should be able to figure out how to make $2,000 a month on a napkin. I mean, literally on a napkin. 100,000 on a napkin. Takes what? Right now in our business, it takes 20 sales, probably as a vice president, to make 100 grand. That's that's a sale almost every other day. I mean, when you really look at that, I'll give you a great analogy for this. This is really, I think a lot of successful people are wired this way. Okay, they're different people, but they're wired. They're stubborn, all that. But okay, so there's there's a thing called the Aura ring, right? It's a ring you put on to just to follow certain things in your body. I like gadgets like that. I like them because it tells you a number, and the number doesn't care about your story, why or this. It's awesome. So I wanted to have deeper sleep. So I got this ring, and I realized that I had some habits by looking at the number that said my deep sleep wasn't as optimal as it should be. And it told me that that was happening. Immediately, it became no excuse, because the numbers are the numbers. And I could say, well, I like this. I like to go to sleep. Well, I like to watch TV late. I step it. Okay, doesn't matter. That's the number. And so the right people are business, the more they clearly see the right number and understand that's what it takes to do this, then that's the person that's going to do this business.
Wow.
And people that fight you on that are not going to do this business. I mean, because why? Because they still haven't traveled the distance. They're not enough paying. They're not pissed off enough. They didn't have cash. I don't know what the reason is. It doesn't matter. All I know, it's not enough. So the sooner I felt that I could give someone factual numbers, because numbers, but you got to know the numbers, you got to accept the numbers. But guess what people don't know? They don't know the numbers. Go and tell your people. And I ask them, hey, show me how to make 100 grand on a piece of paper. And I sat there. You know what I'd see? Complete nothingness, vagueness, not sure. Everything is built 3 places: your mind, paper, okay, you can see your computer, reality. Listen, all I want to do is, but when I give people, if you give people like a coaching thing, like I just said, you want to say, okay, come here, sit down. Now, how do you make 100 grand? Show me how you can make 100 grand. He goes, well, I got to have me. I got to do 5 sales. I got to have 3, 4 people. We're at 20. I'm a regional leader. I've got this many people. And if we had that, I have me, my 5, and 3 people doing 5 or whatever it is, then that's 20. And okay, and that's an RM, you're making at least 50, but as a vice president, you're making at least 100. And add securities. I just want to. And so why is that? Because the overrides, Bruce. What's your override on district? Is that. So you don't have to be there. That's when I say that's as far as it goes. I'm not talking about Vivint, PLP, earns, blankety. I'm talking about insurance and securities. And I throw the securities in there because we do them. Right. And I say, and by the way, when you get a little better at this, you get your license, you do securities, it overrides that too. So now you have burgers and fries. So it's great. So this is what we're going to do. Write it down. When I tell you a person that writes it down and actually internalizes it when they write it down, simply, I don't know anybody. Once again, I don't know anybody who didn't internalize the money before they made it. Didn't write it out simply so they could say, yeah, could you do that? Oh, I could do that. Okay. Because when you have doubts and fears, it clouds the numbers because it's emotional. I want them to be emotional about people and lives, not about the numbers. So when they write that out, The greatest thing the greatest motivational speech you can do for somebody when they're down, is sit them down, talk to them, and okay, hey, write out how you make 100 grand. Just let me see it. Every single time I can ever remember writing it out on a napkin, which is just simple, right? And it'd be I felt better because like, screw that guy. I can do 20 sales. I can do that. I can figure that out. And always, the number that was the most important on the circles was mine. And so, yes, you have to reestablish that this is simple. It's not easy, but it's worth it, and you can do it. Give a crap what the talk is after that. Because people are going to do things ultimately that are going to stretch them for the income they've already earned in their head before they receive it. You know, Jim Carrey wrote 10 million on his first thing before he did math. There's a million things like that. But I went to your guys' group and I asked them, show me how you make 100,000. Oh, I just, well, you got to work hard. You got to show up. They'll give me something, but they're not going to draw it out in like 5 minutes and say, you think you can do that? Oh, I can do that. So let's get to the 5 sales first on you. That's the trick. Right now, that's it. And as we do that, we're going to build this, but you're going to be the example. And that means showing up. I can make the sale. Now, whether they're buying or not, but if they write it down, I got a much higher percentage of them buying it. When I tell them, it's like 20%. When they write it down, it goes to 80. If they quit with their own hand writing it down, then they're going to quit. And guys, this is just psychology. And it's not a motivation. The second form of motivation that's the greatest in Primerica is a check from Primerica. That's the motivation. What's a super motivation? An override check from Primerica. Okay, those are all numbers and beliefs. But before that, it's right here. I just know that if I go to your folks, and I would submit some of you on this thing, you have no idea how to really make 100 simply, that you can explain to your 8-year-old. Keep it simple, stupid, right? You don't need all the other stuff. You're trying to just drill the concept in your head over and over again. How many times a person do that? Every day. I would do it all the time. I draw that thing out because it made me feel like I owned it. So, and by the way, when that happens, from that spare time, all that, then you start to the scheduling and this person owning and by the way, it could be 100. And before they make 100, they're going to make, they say, I want to make 3,000 a month. Write it out. Say, and by the way, on the way to 100, if you do 5, you're going to make your 3,000 a month. I'm going to cater it to them. But I'm always going to put the picture out bigger because that's pulling. And then I'm always going to break that down to say, but you control this. Let's get this. Let's work on you. And we're going to continue to get better at this. And by the way, I ask people, do you think you're as good as you could ever be in Primerica? No way. I said, let's get you there. Let's get you there. Let's see how good you can be when you're good. Because you can't define being good in Primerica if you already know you're not really good. But it's worth it. And we're going to have fun. And we're going to show up. So no client, no show up, self-improvement, schedule. That graduates from the part-time. Part-time people really have a schedule. And I mean a schedule. They show up, they're going to do X. The numbers on the schedule, how many people are you going to talk to this week, today, the next 7 days? They work. They're part-time by definition, right? So they're not. I said, when you're off, where are you going to put this in? If somebody says, I want to really work out, and they have a job, guess what they do? They get up early and work out. If they're really serious about working out, or the doctor says, if you don't work out, you're going to have some serious problems, which is pain. Or they look in the mirror and say, well, that's it. I'm going to take care of this. Or I'm getting old. Whatever your desire is. I just want to feel better. I want to have more energy. But you put that on the front end, or you put your workout on the back end, or you do a little bit at lunch. You cater your schedule to the thing that's driving you the most. So if people are part-time and aren't catering their schedule to the thing that's the most important in Primerica, then what does that tell you about Primerica? It's not important. So there's spare time. That's what it means. That's all it means.
That's right.
Goes right back to it because we all do the extras for what we want to have done. You want to be in pickleball. You figure out a way to get off work, tired, and you'll be in your pickleball crap, hitting the ball back and forth, tearing your ACL or something. And then, so I'm just saying it's simple. And then ultimately, the money is made here. There's no confusion. Besides personally doing it after you've been here a long time and you got some skill. Okay, I'm talking about early on. I'm talking about building something. It's full-time people. A full-time person And you get full-time people from having solid part-time people. That's it. And you get that by solid part-time people by filtering out no-timers and spare timers in a very good, positive way. It's not a negative to anybody. And that's how you get full-timers. So the next question, I was talking to somebody, I said, well, how many full-timers you got? And they were frustrated because they were getting beat. Somebody on Shaq's team, they're good. They make $80,000 as a regional leader. So I said, okay. I said, Josh, let me tell you. I said, Josh, how many full-timers you got? He goes, well, I got 2. I said, Josh, you're never going to beat anybody with 2 full-timers. If somebody's kicking your ass, really kicking your ass, if you walk in their office, instead of having 2 full-timers, they might have 8. They might have 7. They might have 5. They have some balance. But without full-timers, it's impossible to produce vice presidents. So if someone says, I can't ever produce vice president, I don't know what my problem is. And how many full-timers you got? Well, I only got 2. Well, that's the problem. Not you can't produce vice presidents, is people going full-time. But if you're good and you're competent and you can get them part-time to make money, when people start making money and continue to write out how they make money and how they can make 100, it's a much easier sell that you're part-time making 2, you can make 100 to go to full-time. And I know listen, you do what you want, guys. Do what you want to do. I ask people about full-time incredibly early on. Because the best time to drop the seed is early, not late. And that would work because if I can stretch their thoughts at all into this being something really kick-ass, they have to do all the work. I'm not scaring them. You need to be full-time. None of that. The conversation is, let me ask you something. Simple. You do the part-time. I like this. What you do, make some part-time income. Okay. Listen, you love your job. Are you really turned on to it? Does it fire you up every day to go to it? If they say, yes, it does, then they're probably not going to ready to go full-time. So we don't have to have that conversation at this moment. I'm just going to really focus on making money and make it so irresistible that but I'm going to say, but usually you don't get that. You get, no, I said, if you could do anything today, would you say, I can't wait to go into work? No. What's the most frustrating thing about work? Traffic, my boss. Okay. Not all that. I said, so if there was a possibility for this, as you learn more and do more, for this to replace all of that, and if the least it did was replace your income, but you're never in traffic, never doing that, would that be worth giving this a solid 90 days? That you allow me to coach you and help you, but solid, okay? And I'm going to explain to you what solid means. And if you can't give me 90, if you can't give me 30, then I can't help you on this side, because what are you going to learn after 30 days of anything? 30 days of college, 30 days of weight. Okay, so but we can start with 30 and see, we'll look up and say, am I better? And if you say, yes, I'm better, then we can keep going. But I got to have a stretch in there. And I said, and so full-time.
Gold, baby.
So my point to the full-time conversation is simply, okay, Christian,
Gold.
if that is true and we can do that, then is it okay? Do I have permission, again, to press you on that conversation? Not make you do it, but to have that. So when I'm talking about it, you're not saying, why is this guy talking about it? Because I believe it appears that you get this and you're sharp and all these things. I don't know. But if you're the kind of person like hundreds and thousands that we've hired over our career that can do this, you can make that transition. It's your decision. I'm never going to tell you to quit your job. Never going to. But if we can help you make great part-time income and you understand how to double your income or do that, would there be anything stopping you from taking a shot at full-time?
So good.
No, Bruce.
I quit my job quick.
Yeah, most people do. And by the way, that's it.
I didn't hate my job. When I saw this, I hated my job.
Okay, let me go a little deeper. People don't go full-time because they're 20%ers or they're spare time. They love all the things that I have nothing to do with. The other one thing they do full-time is because they're broke. Would you agree? They have no money. So here's the thing. I used to do this. It's just different now, okay? But the concept is the same. I'd have people open a checking account with their name on it, not Primerica, David and Associates, just something. And every dollar that you make in Primerica, let's make a goal of putting that in there and see how much we can get saved. So use it, have fun with it, but let's put aside, that's going to be your full-time fund. So the more you get money in there, so when you do go full-time and you feel like it, you'll have a cushion and your gun won't be to your head and you'll be able to do that. That's how all the people I know went full-time. Other ones that were young and lived at home and had no bills. Okay. I mean, that's another way, but that just gets me now okay, think about the psychology of that. I'm layering into them that I want them to make money. I want them to make money and I want them to save that money in an area that they can think about a year from now. If you had, say, how much you got saved right now? Oh, like $500. If you had $10,000 at the end of this year in that account, would you feel good? How good would you feel? And you know what? That 10,000 is yours. You do whatever you want. You can spend it. I don't give a crap what you do with it. But if you saw you could double your income and say, okay, this is going to help me invest in not to me, but into your business so you have a chance to get big. Is that something that might interest you? Okay. If they're not a client, which by the way, there's no human being that you hire that shouldn't have a mutual fund. Not one. Okay, I understand the insurance side. Maybe they're single. Maybe I still can make the sell for it. But let's say in the outside thing, you just can't do that. Okay, a mutual fund, and I would make that. I just put that mutual fund in the beginning of the money market, or put a little bit in the money market. Look, I'm just saying, if you don't have the vessel to place things in, then people can't conceptualize it going in. The mutual fund is for you to get wealthy over 20 to 30 years, Christian. If you never do this business, it's going to be the greatest thing you learn how to do in your working lifetime to take the money you're busting your ass for and be able to get more for it, saving, dollar cost averaging, all the things. I'm not going deep in this. I said, but if you want to take a shot at 7 to 10 years of being completely financially free, then this is your cushion as you learn how to do that. And so I'm money motivated for you because we have to help a client for that to happen. But I'm motivated for you to get some money saved so you feel better about you and you have some breathing room so you have a chance to look at a career that can kick ass and you're good enough to do it. And that's what we're going to work on every day, man. It's all about that. You don't mind me asking, hey, man, how's your savings going? What you got in your savings? I mean, now I know if you put more into it, great. You should start that now. But if I only do $100, I can do $50, great. My goal is that you do enough sales and learn the quality of this business that you can put $1,000 a month in that mutual fund. Now you can spend it, yours.
You mind me asking you about how your savings is going?
Yeah.
What
I mean, there's a million
question that is.
I mean, here's the thing. We can ask all the good questions. However, at the end of the day, at the end of questions, the only thing that matters is action. And without the action, the questions are no longer relevant. Because if we can't get to the action, we are now in the questioning world with these people. And now we're their psychologists, we're their conversationalists. No. That's why these non-negotiables, you got to get past that. Because once again, if you can't put a $50 or $100 in a mute, $3 a day, well, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. If you can't see that, and the worst case scenario is you're going to be 20, 30 years. The best case is 7 to 10, and we can get really cranking on that next year or so once you understand the business and make a lot of part-time money and have fun along the way. That's what we're going to do here. Hang on. And also know your friends and family are going to give you crap. And when you say, yeah, but do you have a mutual fund? So I have to say, no, I don't have a mutual fund. I don't have a, well, I do. So I know it works. It's just advocacy. Now, if you said I hired 10 people and I ask you of the 10 people, how many had insurance and investment? You might say, well, 1 or 2. I said, so the question I got for you is how long did you work with the other 8? How did you convince yourself that those 8 were going to be somebody that's worth investing in when they can't even invest in themselves? How'd you do that? Because those 8 will wear your ass out. Those 8 will be another 8 that just quit. They didn't quit. They got cut from our system. They never quit. They get cut. They can't cut it. The basics. Gyms don't work. I know that for sure. Why? Because, well, I know people who started working out and didn't finish. No shit. I mean, you have to go to the gym and you have to work out and you have to want that because it's important for you. So my point to this is This full-time thing is it's so incredible. 80%, once again, a lot of you are smart. All of you are smart. 80% of the business done in Primerica is done by full-timers. Now think about that. Or super serious part-timers. Why are they super serious part-timers? Because they want to be full-time. Why do you want to be full-time? Because that's how you become a vice president. So if you don't tie these together, you've got journeymen in this business forever. And that's okay, but RVPs, full-time. Full-times are great part-time. I can make that sale. And by the way, when they make more money and they write the contract and they see what RVP makes, the more important thing is they're making that sale, which is the voice in their head to themselves is far more important than the voice that you're putting in their head. Trust me, some of you spend so much time just yapping instead of asking right now, hey, I'm feeling down, man. I'm really out, man. I don't know. I just, okay, write out how you make 100 grand. Okay, great. Do you think you can do that? I mean, let's go back to what it is. Because if that doesn't turn you on, hey, what we do for clients, remember help. So if that doesn't do it, you're gone. Okay. Then you're not money motive like I was, because once I did that, I realized this shit really works every time, 1,000th time. I'd say, wow, that crap is unbelievable, man. Because a lot of people do this business. So, Bruce, what's the issue? Oh, right here, Bruce. Let's go. Keep trucking. And you can continue to add the 2.5 sprint out there. Not perfect, not great. But by the way, because your business doesn't have some of these things in it, it's very unpredictable. The only predicting part of your business is you. That's not bad. That's a start. But you want to build a predictable business, not just you, though the key is you. And part of that is how you're speaking to people and how you're attracting them to that model. And listen, I was a district leader. I was going to be a vice president. Because guess what I figured out? Nobody wants to join a district leader. Now, I sold my vice president. I talked about them and everybody else. But this dude was going to be a vice president. Because I figured I could do it in my mind. So I was, because if I'm not selling really hard your next promotion, I mean, a lot of you haven't talked about your promotion. Well, Bruce says, yeah, I can't. I haven't produced an RVP. I got an SVP. It's 3 RVPs. I've been here for 100 years. Care. That new person deserves the chance to say you can be a vice president. Just because you didn't do it doesn't mean it's not right to talk about it. I understand it makes you feel bad because it's the way you're looking at it. I'm telling you, it makes your entire model better. Not just them going to RVP, it makes the potential for a full-timer to understand that. So you go to RVP and it makes part-time, because good part-timers make great full-timers, because all the things we talked about. It's not complicated. So, and I want you guys to get big. And Primerica is so awesome. And some of you guys are making more money than you ever did. Like we talked to Christian, I don't care about, I made 50,000 securities. I would never say that. I'd say Primerica paid me $50,000 last month for helping people. And I do it all. And that's what I teach people how to do. Cash flow go works. People go for the cash flow. They always have. And when you're an example of that, making 20 grand a month, I don't care what it is. So, and so now, real quick on the backside, if you haven't had this conversation, then you start having it without the extra. You got to go back and kind of not reset the whole conversation, but go back and add some things in here. And you don't have to tell them what you're doing. Say, this is how we're going to build a system here. And this will make you get, okay, let's catch them up. And then start working on it. I want to be a better business to work in with less frustration is getting people buying in to having a chance to bar part-time, but full-time. Because full-time, not because I'm going to pay them, not because they hate their job, because it's just a better business. If I have 8 to 10 full-timers in my meeting, I know what we're going to do this month. If I have 5 part-timers and 20 spare timers and 18 no-timers, I have no idea what we're going to do other than what I'm going to do. It's much more predictable. It takes a little bit of time to launch it. You want to have a $30,000 base shop? You need 4 or 5 full-timers. Not perfect. One of them is going to be kick-ass. And then, one of them, they may quit. But it's not one full-timer. And you say, well, I wish I had more full-timers. Well, wishing I do. You got to have a system in your head. And if you want to produce vice presidents, it's full-timers. And if you look at your career, some of you realize, I've never had that many full-timers. Uh-oh. Now you're thinking through something. And now you have cash flow to sell people on being full-time. Who would want a lot of your guys' incomes? Most of you put 20 hours in. Hell, that's the dream. Honestly, 30 hours, no traffic, Debug making 600,000, whatever it is, Debug, almost six, if not six, right? I mean, Gordon, all you guys in there. I'm just saying, your income's up, 20 grand a month. What the heck? So, a lot of hope, man. And I think, lastly, this allows you to attract younger people in the business because they're not coming ultimately for the insurance. They don't want to get good. They want to get wealthy, but we're going to help them get good while they get wealthy. And because the more you're talking the big picture, and even if you don't believe it like we always did, it's like, but you're doing the right thing because you're putting a target out there that attracts people that this is how we do it here. I want to have 3 RVPs this year. I want to have 3. And this, you know, I got to have about 8, 10 full timers and 3 of them that have proven they can make money and all that. And we're starting. Let's go.
So good.
That's it.
Vision.
And you're going to make a ton more money. And the business is more fun. It is more fun. I mean, part-timers in your base is like herding cats, right? How do you herd cats? You know, right? All directions, you know, jumping on your back and think about the picture. And you're like, I got all these cats. What am I doing with them? Well, you're not going to have a herd of them. Okay. They're independent. So you're looking for structure, but you all can fix this. At the same time, you're doing the things that you've gotten successful doing right now and what you're doing and all that. Very last thing, you got to declutter. You got to declutter. This is really important because in order to put new things in your brain, you have to unclutter your mind. Everybody has a lot of clutter. If you lived in one place for a year, do you get clutter? Yes, you get shit that you don't even know. You go, God dang, man. If you live in 2 years, 5 years, what is your closet and your place? It's the collection room of junk, right? What is your garage? It's a disaster. What does 20 years look like? You know, it's like you think, well, I need all these things. When you move out of that, you're going to get rid of a lot of crap that you're going to realize I really didn't need that. It was something you have to, all this in your brain, you guys on this call. I don't care if you're 6 months, 3 months, 5 years, 20 years, 30. Declutter. You got to cut things out that really don't matter. But this is how I do it. It doesn't matter. If you want to get to A, you got to unload the train a little bit. Not everything. Keep the things that are good. And just even to the point, a lot of you, I see people, I was laughing. They have all these apps. They have all these things. They have all their phones hitting every 5 minutes. Ring, this, that, the other. And you think that, and the truth is, if I was honest, 90% of people are controlled by their phone right now. Binging, calling,
99.
doing things. It's huge distraction. You got to cut all that. I'm not saying don't use a phone, but I would declutter that mother. I would have nothing going on my screen other than my goals. I get your kids. I got it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying how much stuff do you have in your head that doesn't matter? And you got to take a cleanse. Okay. And actively get that crap out of the way. So when you pick up that phone, and you think about this, most of you, that phone is how much time is it taking when you look at it, and then how much time is it thinking about it, and it's nothing to do with anything that you have set up as a goal.
That's right.
If it does, great, but most of it's not. Why? Because that's how it happens. It's a greatest device for mind control. And I'm not against phones. I'm just saying it is programmed by everybody else. Instagram, Facebook. How many times people on Instagram? 3 types. You can't get wealthy. You're not going to get wealthy. I'm on Facebook, whatever it is you're watching, all right? Telegram, just looking at meme. You're not going to make it. Not because you're not a good person, all that. It's because you have to be focused like an animal to change something that's big in your life.
That's right.
And anytime you put other things or allow, you don't put allow, they crept in. They're just there. Your notifications, you can set your phone up to notify you at 4:00 in the afternoon for anything or whenever you want. Not all day, not picking. I want clarity. for that period of time. I have enough distractions without causing me more. So I want focus. This is a thought. I've watched it now. It blows my mind. I do myself. January, I was like, and I was just stupid shit, right? I mean, I don't go on Instagram much. And I was like, you know what, Bruce, about the fifth bing of the day or something. It's like, I'm looking at it. Oh, I got to look at it. None of it was important. It was all things that I had created in my life and you put these notifications on, and it means nothing except for distraction. And now I am more focused on my phone and that hitting me than I am my life. Okay, well, that's called, Bruce, A, a little discipline, and B, if I'm more focused on a piece of material in my hand than I am my life. Oh, I don't really do that. I guarantee you, if you're not watching it, you are. And it's tough, right? I'd rather be focused on putting a YouTube of, something good on there that I can learn from. Okay, I got no problem with that. I mean, I'm good with that. Where it's something of motivation. Awesome. But the other stuff, think about it. Just think about it. Give yourself a little think up about that. And then you have it at your house on your computer, and then you have this in your home. But oh my God. Not forever. Couple years are really on it. So that's my thoughts.
That's great. That is so true, Bruce. I guess we were in a way lucky because we didn't have a phone.
100%. No, it's just, just count the hours. And when you look at your phone and say, how many hours do you spend on your screen? Oh, it can't be much. 4 hours. 3 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours. Oh, by the way, it's just not time. It's releasing the mental focus because now you're mindless.
Well,
because that's how it works.
Is what I'm doing now helping me or hurting me?
And it's always, if it's not helping, it's not neutral. It's very rarely neutral. That's what it is. I wish it was neutral, right? I mean, what I'm eating, like, what am I eating? Is it helping me or hurting me? Well, if you don't pay attention, everything we eat is hurting me. You have to I'm not saying worry about your diet. That's all up to you guys. I'm just saying, if you don't pay attention
about your diet.
Yeah. I mean, Christian, and you know that, Christian, because of the situation you're in your health, it's highly focused. But I submit to you that you were highly focused. We always had distractions, but we had to go to happy hour to get it.
Yeah.
Okay? We knew we were going to get distracted. All right. I have no problem taking a break. I have no problem with, today was a tough week. Geez, I need to go get a beer. Great. I need to go to the gym, whatever the hell you got to do. But it's the other hours in there that are, I would say, not effective for you focusing your mind. But also, if someone's going to control your mind, wouldn't you want it to be you? Just a thought. With your kids, if you said, my kid, by the way, all this advice, think about the kids, right? I saw with my kids and I sat down with them. I said, show me your phone. I'm just, the clutter. We're talking about that. You go, let's try that. And what don't you need? Yeah, but Dad, my friend, but clear that. Or put it at least on a schedule. You don't get it until 4 o'clock. You get all the dump one time, right? Or whatever.
What are you talking about? Controlling your mind. If you're not controlling your mind, if you're watching that stuff, somebody else is controlling your mind.
That's what I'm saying. Well, by the way, there's trillions of dollars at stake to control our minds.
That's right.
Billions. That's all. The whole purpose of this little device, besides all the awesomeness of it, is to keep you on it. Do you understand? Billions and billions of dollars are being spent to keep you on it, to keep you looking at it. And by the way, I like phones.
They make their money getting us views.
And then forget if you guys, and like I say, now when you talk to a new person, especially young, you can't just say, okay, we're going to put they will run from you like forever, right? So you can't just, I'm talking about you or your part-timers or people that are serious about growing something, being focused. Guess what? You're not going to miss anything. You're not going to miss a thing. Okay, I promise. You think about nothing because you're going to get the same shit, and it's all. And and I've said before, it's the most ridiculous thing. You go to the gym, and people in between sets are on their phone.
Right.
I'm like, excuse me, can I get in there? I mean, it is. And by the way, they're having a pathetic workout. So they're saying, so they can say, well, I went to the gym today. They didn't go to the gym. They showed up at the gym today, but they were on their phone more than the gym. That's insane. But I realized that's everything. If you want to get in shape, if you don't, then it's your social hour. Great. I'm okay if you're okay. Same thing with primary. But work with people.
I had an advantage of living with you for 2 years and we worked out together. So I had the advantage of watching how when you were in the gym, this wasn't the social hour, this was not resting in between sets. You were there for one purpose, and that was to work out. And it was like your nostrils, you were like,
yeah, I'm in.
You know, you were there on a mission. And when I walked into your office, I knew you were on a mission. And you talked about that. You're here, buddy. You want to be here. I just want to help you get here. Do you want to get here or not? And if you do, let's go. And if you don't, it's okay. I love you. Wonderful. But I don't have time to mess with people who were satisfied with being here and they said they wanted to be here.
Yeah. And part of your skill set, Christian, ours, it was a learning curve to understand that because they say it doesn't mean it's true. Okay. Yeah. So that's just the big thing to realize. Show me the signs of life, real signs, tangible numbers, something, how many, even to the point of you give them a self-improvement, something to listen to. It's kind of simple. Did they listen? If they don't listen, if they can't listen to something, and you tell them, what did it say? What'd you hear? All that. And they can't hook themselves on that. They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. Okay. Hey, you need to go find some people. Let's see if we can get some hires of people. And I'm thinking before you quit. I don't want you to quit, but you're going to quit. So, and we're talking to young people. Look, don't hammer this. Don't be there. I'm never like their parent. Even when I talk to people like 20s, 30s, I'm not their dad. I'm not giving you some advice. Just, hey, think about this. How much time you spend on the phone? You got anything that's focused on that really turns you on? Yeah. There might be a couple hours in there that you might need to think about focusing on this if you want to be an Olympic athlete.
You didn't put it that way back then.
Think about Olympic athletes. Do you think the Olympic athletes are spending all the days looking at their phone all the time? Are they practicing, working on their technique, trying to shave a tenth of a second off? Come on. During the week, sure, if you're okay, might be some downtime, but it ain't their schedule. Because why? They have something else in their schedule that they must do. That's the difference. If you have no schedule and nothing in it, then nothing matters. Nothing matters. And so I sell the dream, man. I mean, the dream is alive and well, $1 million flying out the door, all kinds, securities, investments, blah, 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 making money, cash flow. I wish for you to do super well. I would like to see you, those of you who are doing more in securities, sell the cash flow. You can still bring people on board. Matter of fact, it's the best time in the world to bring them on board because you have cash flow. And they're not going to get good in securities until they're good at insurance. And they're not going to get insurance until they get the district division. And by the way, division leader is probably a very important place for you guys. Why? Because division leader is when they legitimately have produced, some people have all guidelines. To me, it's just 2 districts. I mean, that's it. And if you look at our weak spots in our promotion structure, division is always weak. Why? Because it's harder to get 2 districts than it is to go to district. But if somebody can get 2 districts, they legitimately have a chance of being a vice president. They really can go full time because they have gotten, even you help, but 2 districts. And also when they have somebody underneath them, like 2 districts, it's obvious. Are they going to show up early or late? Because their people are. If they got to show up late and their people are showing up, okay, they're not going to make. These are just district is important because they'd be on their own, but division is where you lock in people before they quit. And if they quit, you've got a couple districts. I know it's a redhead stepchild. Nobody talks about it because what we do is we power people to district, which I have no problem with. And got to be a district. Okay, and then it's a big drop off, and then a few trickle to the door. No. You power to district, and the key to division is those 2 districts. That's really what it is. Because now if they quit, you're wider. Now if they stay, and they see it, they get a little override check. Now they see if I do 2 more, I'm a regional. If I do 2 more, I'm a vice president. I can do 4. It just changes. So that division is a cavern right now, and it can't be. You want more full-timers? I'd say you better get some more divisions. Because if I wanted to be full-time, I was part-time, and I saw I had 2 people, and I said, you got 2 people. Hey, that guy could be a vice president. You understand? If you have $100,000 vice president, you make 100,000, you make 200,000 because you make 100. You understand that? That's different. Now we're talking about big money to the average person. And by the way, this is why you can't. Sometimes at district, you guys know this true. People do everything for the district. They get them to district. They're really coddling them all the way to district. Okay, so when they get to district, they're really a modified, senior rep because you've done the work. At division, they have to own it. You want people to show up on time, get them with people showing up on time. If they don't show up on time, okay, great. I just got some directs. If they do show up on time, great. They're leading by example. That's the only way you get it. Just work on it.
Good. That's good.
Fill the division. If you fill the division gap, you'll be amazed how much farther you get down the road this full time. It's all part of sequence. Okay.
Thank you, buddy. Spewing wisdom this morning. Thank you, bud.
Well, I'm sure I wore them all out. But
Awesome. Thanks, Bruce.
Well, you didn't wear me out. And I'm got
Thank you, Bruce.
10 pages of notes. Gold.
You're welcome, Buds.
Gold.
All right. Anything else, Christian?
I think
Anything
I'm good for Wednesday morning. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for
I
all
appreciate
you've done
you,
for
man.
our family.
I appreciate all the things you've done for your family, and because of that, it's done things for our family. So that's how it's supposed to work. It was not like I'm going to win, you're not, you're going to win, I'm not. It's like that's a business model.
We're going to win.
So you want more people living the dream.
That's right.
As many as you can get.
That's why we did this, to help people move up towards what they want.
Yeah.
Thank you for your contribution and sharing.
All righty.
Spewing gold and wisdom this morning, my man.
That's all I got. That kind of
Okay.
used me up for the month. But
Right. You got it.
See you guys.
Right. Take care.
All the best.
All right. Remove spotlight. All right. Wow. I am going to rewrite my notes, put them in my phone as a constant reminder on the basics of winning in our business. Any comments? Look forward to seeing everybody live Saturday in Owings Mills, baby, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. We're going to have a great morning. Keep your eye on Telegram for any, for the details of that, okay?
Thank you, Christian. Thank you for bringing him today. That's what the doctor ordered. It was really, really good.
If you're not a client, if you can't show up, I loved it. I'd never heard that said ever before. I don't need you to buy. You don't need to be a client because I need you to buy. What was it, Hector?
No self-improvement.
Hector, you need to buy. You need to be a client because he said, I need you to
believe in what you do, what we do.
Right. Fatima, if you don't believe in what you do,
you're not going to make it.
How are you going to do in this? How are you going to do in your whatever your business is? If you don't believe that you should do whatever whatever you're selling, how good are you going to do in that business?
Not good at all.
If you don't show up to your job, how are you going to do at that job?
Not good at all.
A pastor who doesn't show up to his church, how's he going to do at that church?
Not good at all.
If you don't show up to building your own business here, how you going to do in this business?
You're not going to do good at all.
Wow. If you don't self-improve, if you don't get any better, how you going to do?
You ain't going to do better at all. That's
right.
it.
But
That's
if you believe, if you show up, if you get better, how's it look now?
You looking much better now. Everything's gonna start getting better.
I love the reminder of the basic fundamentals of winning. Proud to be in business with you. Look forward to seeing you live on Saturday. Let's go make it a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody. Thank you, Christian.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Have a good one.